Next element is intention to create legal relations. Contracts require an intention to create legal obligations for them to be binding. The court determines the intention from the agreement's language, context, and conduct of the parties. Two presumptions used by courts. 1. Family or domestic arrangements. Agreements within families are generally presumed not to have legal intent as decided in Balfour and Balfour. Example, a husband promising maintenance payments to his wife is not enforceable if made informally. Exception, if family agreements are documented or made under circumstances suggesting intent as decided in merit and merit. Example, a written agreement between separated spouses concerning property transfer was enforceable. 2. Business, commercial agreements, presumed to have legal intent unless explicitly stated otherwise. Example, a clause stating no legal relations intended. In Roseanne Franco and Crompton Brothers, a clause excluding legal recognition rendered the agreement unenforceable. Next is certainty. For a contract to be valid, its terms must be clear and capable of being made certain. Ambiguity or vagueness renders agreements void. Example, Karupin Chetty and Suathian, an agreement for a lease as long as the lessee likes was void due to uncertainty. Next, capacity to make a contract. Under the Contracts Act, individuals must be of sound mind, age of majority, and not disqualified from contracting. Minors below 18 years generally cannot enter into enforceable contracts as decided in Mohori Bidi and Darmodas Gos. Exceptions for minors. 1. Contracts for necessaries. Contracts for essential items like food, clothing, or education are enforceable. In Government of Malaysia and Gurcharan Singh, education costs for a minor were considered necessaries, and the minor was bound to repay. 2. Scholarships. Scholarship contracts for minors are valid under the Contracts Amendment Act 1976. 3. Insurance. Minors aged 10 and above can enter insurance contracts with parental consent for those under 16. 4. Service or apprenticeship. Minors can engage in contracts for service under specific laws, such as the Children and Young Persons Employment Act 1966. 5. Marriage-related contracts. Agreements involving marriage, divorce, or dowry are valid regardless of the minor's age. In the case of Rajwari and Anar and Balakrishnan, a marriage promise made by minors was upheld as valid. Last element, free consent. Consent is critical for a contract to be valid. It must not be influenced by the following. First, coercion. Defined under Section 15, coercion involves threats or acts forbidden by law as decided Chidnam Biantai Kimco. Buyers were coerced into paying additional sums under threat of losing their bookings. Second, undue influence. When one party uses a dominant position to obtain unfair advantage under Section 16. Example, dominance could arise from fiduciary relationships or mental incapacity. Third, fraud. Intentional deception to induce contract formation under Section 17. In the case Lechemi Arumagam and Anamale, fraudulent misrepresentation led to avoidable contract. Fourth, misrepresentation. False statements made innocently. Example, a seller stating a car was accident-free but being unaware of its history. Fifth, mistake. Mutual mistakes about fundamental facts render contracts void under Section 21. In Freeman and Kayamesha Concord, a unilateral misunderstanding about entertainment did not void the contract.